Hey guys, welcome back. I'm with Prince again. Thank you, Prince, for joining me. We are actually going to talk about United winning yesterday in the Champions League, but it just happened. The news just came in that Diego Maradona has passed away. A legend of the game, one of the best. We didn't obviously we're not alive to see his greatness, but we have seen the YouTube videos and we have seen how he has impacted players like Ronaldo and Messi to reach that level of greatness. So, what do you think about Diego Maradona? And rest in peace, man.
Absolutely. Rest in peace to a true GOAT. Like he's honestly FIFA's player of the century, obviously for a reason. And just watching the tributes and like you said, all the YouTube videos in our, you know, over the years and stuff. It's unfortunate we never got to see his greatness, in person or like once
Yeah,
when we're actually alive. But we obviously we've definitely lost a footballing genius, and hopefully his family is okay and all that. And rest in peace to a true legend.
yeah. It's this year has been quite shit, in terms of losing legend of the game, and with this coronavirus. And but he didn't have coronavirus. He died of a brain disease. He had a brain surgery like
Yeah,
2 3 weeks
it
back.
was a cardiac arrest, wasn't it, as well?
Yeah, but I think it was a brain disease as well, like brain some
Mm.
surgery had happened for him. But I was
Yeah.
seeing his videos. Obviously, the England match is obviously one of the greatest matches ever played by
Hand
by a
of God, of
footballer,
course. Yeah.
hand of God. But it doesn't look like a hand of God. It doesn't. He was so clever in getting that thing done. If you see it like normal time, except
Mm.
for the players, if you just see it like as a person, it doesn't look
It's
like a
hard to say.
handball.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. And back then, obviously, no technology, nothing. Like you have to rely on what you see from the start. So I mean, you can't really give
Yeah,
it if you're unsure. But regardless, I mean, it's
and
an iconic moment, regardless, and especially it's like just like his solo goal as well that he scored. I think it was against
oh
England as well.
yeah,
The
the same
iconic
match.
same match, exactly. So I mean, he's
It's
remembered for a
crazy,
lot
man.
of things. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. One moment he's actually getting a lot of hate from the world, the next moment he's getting a lot of love for scoring that wonderful goal. I think only true players can do that.
For sure. I think his managerial career was filled with controversy, for sure. But I
Yeah.
mean, nobody can take away what he's done like in the past, and still managed to coach Argentina. Like as a so he's had that experience as well. So I mean, I think all of that is forgotten now. Like all of the controversies in the very recent years. He was definitely a character. Gave a lot, and there's always a lot to talk about with Diego Maradona. Playing days, managerial days, it's like so. I mean, that conversation will definitely be going on for the next few days for sure.
Yeah, but after Pele, I think he was the first footballer to really create magic on the field. You had Johan Cruyff,
Mm,
but he was the first. He was an Argentine. He dragged his country to the World Cup. That's how great he was in '86.
exactly.
So rest in peace, man.
Rest
Do you
in
have anything
peace.
to say about him?
No, I was gonna say like I mean, there's an underrated stat as well where this in the Serie A back in the 80s,
Hmm.
that AC Milan team back in the day, which is arguably one of the best teams of all time, where it has Marco van Basten, Ruud Gullit, and a bunch of I
Yeah.
think Frank Rijkaard. I'm not sure. I mean, they
Hmm.
were unstoppable, but during that era, Diego Maradona also led his Napoli team to two
Hmm.
Serie A
Correct.
titles back then. So that is very, very underrated as well.
I think with the Serie A, we don't give it that much credit because we don't see it that much.
Mm,
Obviously, at that time, you were not alive. But now Serie A is not that competitive compared to the Premier League because you see so many players in the
of
Premier
course.
League since the '90s. It's very competitive. But players who have played outside of the Premier League are not getting their due credit. But Diego Maradona really got respect in terms of achieving everything he did outside of Premier League. He never came to the Premier League or club, but he was obviously considered one of the greatest players. And obviously, when you compare him and Messi,
Mm,
Messi cannot be great until he wins a World Cup with Argentina. Diego
of
Maradona was
course.
that great. That makes you great. Even like Ronaldo, he won it with he won the Euro, he won the Nations League, so he actually won something.
Hmm.
But
Exactly. That Yeah, I mean that alone is a whole different conversation. But I mean, yeah, definitely like the comparisons of Messi and Maradona will always only remain on the football pitch. But like in terms of accolades, obviously you can count the Ballon d'Ors, you can count the individual awards, but it doesn't match up to I mean Diego Maradona. He has probably the best individual accolade out of all of that, which is FIFA's Player of the Century. So he can't really beat that.
Yeah, and the
Yeah,
goal of the century also with
and goal
him.
of the century, exactly, exactly.
So Diego Maradona, rest in peace. Pretty shocking news. So we'll go to the main topic with the topic we actually came to talk about. Man United
Hmm.
versus Istanbul. What do you think? What did you think about the game?
Honestly, we did well until Istanbul came back in the 60th, 70th minute. But from the start, obviously, we dominated for sure. We came out with a very attacking lineup. Obviously, Rashford, Martial, and Cavani, and Van der Beek, and Fernandes. So I expected goals. We got goals,
Yeah.
but I mean, one person to pick, honestly, Fernandez just blows my mind every time. Like I watched it, I was such a big smile on my face. I'm just like, I'm so happy that we have him. Like that second goal, especially, was it the first or second where it was outside the box?
First one, first one.
That was the first one. Yeah, I was like, oh my, he just continues to
But
do bits.
according to you, what does he bring to the team? Like, we obviously now we are going crazy behind Fernandez because the first goal was a piece of magic. The first time shot, he just came in like it's like a volley. He just shoots, and it
Yeah,
was like Scholes' prime years, just waiting on the edge
yeah,
of the box and just going for the shot. What do you think he brings to the team? Like,
Fernandez. I mean, yeah, I mean, based on our conversation the last time as well, I mean, you mentioned it as well, like the whole leadership aspect as well, like leading by example. Like you can see, like he's hungry. He wants to win. He wants to get in the box. He wants to create the chance. Like every time he's on the ball, like he always looks like he's intent on making something happen. You always watch thinking, okay, something is every other time he gets the ball, something's gonna happen for sure and stuff like that. So he definitely brings that spark, and like having him is such a big bonus because you have a player like that doing what he's doing in his form. It obviously can motivate all the other players on the pitch as well. Like everyone else can just follow what he's doing. I mean, well, not exactly, but I mean in the sense they'll see what he's doing, and it'll definitely bring up the morale as well. Like I mean, thank God we have him on the pitch in that sense. Like they'll probably be thinking, like we need to step our game up and stuff.
but with his introduction to the team, there is a change of fortune in terms of like the way we play. Even but the main
Yeah.
thing was Van der Beek playing with Fernandez and Fred playing there, and you could see Van der Beek being quick, fast, one-touch football,
Mhm.
going for the attack.
Mhm.
Now, obviously, now we won yesterday, and we have to give special names to Telles and Cavani. I think these guys are just going to be one hell of a partnership because you could see Telles just giving the crossing. He was just crossing all the time.
Yeah, exactly. He was always trying to find Cavani, and thing is, Cavani. I mean, I'm very happy he got the full 90 minutes as well. I mean, he's whether he gets a goal or not. Like, even though I think the stat is he has 354 club career goals so far, which is insane. I mean, regardless, he always worked hard. I mean, he always kept going up and down. Like, he always kept trying to make sure he got on the end of any cross that came in. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm very happy to see Tellez performing. Obviously, crossing in here and there, but he's definitely bringing that attacking intent as well. Like you don't see that too often from Luke Shaw, so it's definitely a good change on that left side.
But he brings a lot of stability to the defense also. I don't know. I see him play and I feel calm when he's there because he actually is in position for defending also. I think that's one
Hundred
thing.
percent.
Uh,
Yeah, he's a good. I mean, he's a well experienced defender. Obviously, plays for Brazil now. Has played numerous Champions League games for Porto. So I mean, that he's bringing that experience as well. He's played in a good Porto team, getting the experience to play in Brazil. So I mean, we definitely needed him. Honestly, it's when we signed him, I was like, I can't believe we actually signed him. He is like top class. Like I mean, have 1 2 good seasons in him. Like, and he had the potential to be world class. Honestly, I've always felt
and
it in Alex Perez.
and signing only for 17 million, so you could see that money is worth. And if we didn't get him, for example, you knew that we would be so pissed off with the board for not getting the players we
Both.
wanted because you could see Cavani in as an attacker and Martial and Rashford really playing well because Cavani was giving their one
Yeah,
touches to Bruno or to Cavani or
exactly.
to Martial or to Rashford or to Van
Hmm.
de Beek, and obviously Greenwood James coming up and James scoring a goal with Greenwood's help.
Mm.
So you could
Mm.
see that. What do you think about that? The future generation in a way.
I mean, I'm excited for Greenwood in particular for sure. I mean, James obviously he needs. I mean, he's still young. Obviously you can't kick off from the start. Obviously, he had a great start anyway, but like since then he's played out of position, etc., etc. We didn't have a good form, but I mean, I'm not gonna like say too much against James because, like I said, yeah, he's young. You still keep him at the club for a year or two, and he can really show his worth. But Greenwood for sure, I think. I mean, he's gone through a lot this summer for sure. I mean, he had an amazing last season, but I think this season it's dried up a bit. But that could also be the psychological part of it because there's so much going on with him and all that controversy with him and Phil Foden in the summer. So for him to
Yeah.
get an assist and hopefully he can grab a goal or two in the next few weeks, and he should be back on track, to continue his progression because the way he started last season, the sky's the limit for Greenwood. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what our future generation can bring in terms of the attack.
I'll ask you two questions regarding Greenwood. Do you think, comparing him, Martial, and Rashford, who's the better finisher?
Finisher. Oh, it's on. I think I honestly I'm gonna say Greenwood.
Yeah.
I'd say Rashford, but I mean it has to be Greenwood because there was that point in time when every time he shot, it looked like he was gonna score, and he scored
Yeah.
every other time. At such a young age, and especially like it's amazing. So I can't fault that. Like I would say Rashford just because he has the experience of scoring. He's scored more goals, but so far I think shots per goals and whatnot. I mean Greenwood for sure right now. That's
I
what
think he's
scary potential.
first season he has scored 17 goals already,
Yeah,
bigger than all
I mean
even bigger than Rashford and Martial when their first season came. I think when
hmm
Martial came, he scored 17 goals, but Martial was a little bit elder compared to Greenwood. Greenwood was 18 when he scored, and Martial was I think 19 or 20 something. And Martial played in
yeah,
Monaco. Like he had a season in Monaco where he was playing with Berbatov, and they had knocked out City in 16 or something. He was influential at that time, and then no, it's not 16 before that. And then he came to United, and they could see that there's a potential in Martial, and that's why they bought him 55 million, which is worth it. A lot of
hmm
criticism is happening for Martial for not scoring goals. Do you think he will come good in like now because obviously he was sent off against Tottenham? So do you think now he will have a good start? But obviously Cavani is there to help him. So what do you think about Martial?
Martial's an interesting one for sure. I think it depends on the position he plays in because sometimes when you watch Martial, like I mean, he can obviously play center forward, he can play on the left wing, but what sometimes he is uh, quite selfish. Like, not in a bad way. Like, obviously that's his playing style. Like, he's got the quick feet, he can beat players, he can do this and that. But I just feel like even the just the simple things as well sometimes, like the quick 1-2s, like basic standard stuff. There are times where I feel like Martial tries a bit too much, and that costs him an opportunity. So I mean, it obviously cost him a chance to get a few more goals than he has. But I mean, I still keep my faith in Martial because he still comes through. He still bags a goal here and there. I mean, if he was our out and out number 9, our out and out striker, I'd have a bit more criticism. But he's not. Like he keeps getting swapped in position, so that also affects it. But yeah, I mean, I still as always have my faith in Tony Martial, so it's all good. Hopefully, like I can see him getting another goal, and if not this weekend, then definitely the next.
I think against there's a lot of fixtures coming up in December. Obviously, the Christmas time. There's a lot of matches now. I think he'll come good then. I think Cavani obviously will help him go
hmm
forward because
hmm
Cavani does that one touch and he gives the ball. He holds the ball very well, and now Marshall can finish from his like he'll
Yeah,
cut in and he just curve the ball and he can shoot. We have seen it. Um,
yeah, yeah.
so we are on top 9 points. We are facing PAG and Istanbul. Sorry, PAG and Leipzig. We defeated Istanbul. One, I think I get really pissed off with United is that if we had won the previous match against Istanbul, we'd be already qualified, and we would be like top of the group. That's it, confirmed. You know, uh, Honestly, seeing yesterday and the previous match against Istanbul, they were like mountains difference in the first 30
hmm
minutes. Yesterday, we were just on them. You knew that Ole must have said to these guys, "You need to win this match," and they won.
hundred
And
percent.
the problem with United on their day, they can beat anyone. If they are
That's true.
everyone, that's the team.
hmm
But what do you think about that? What do you think? Okay, now and on top of that, I want you to know what's going to happen
Yeah.
next week and what's going to happen against Istanbul, and what do you think who will be the top two to qualify for the from the group?
So I mean, in terms of like United, like the difference in terms of like you. Thing is, there's one piece of commentary I think Jim Beglin was said like while because I think this is after we were 2-0 up is like well United have had a great start and then honestly these days you never know which Manchester United is going to turn up and that literally
Correct.
sums us up right now like you you literally don't know are we gonna breeze through are we gonna just slack off get a 1-0 defeat or something because that the first game against Istanbul I mean I'd even say yeah Istanbul had the home advantage but there's no fans also it's not like we had that atmosphere against us or anything like that so
We were
it's a
not.
very hard thing. It's a very hard
We
thing to
were,
explain, honestly.
we were not up for it that match. You could see they were not focused on winning the match. Like they lost to
Yeah.
Arsenal and then they come to Istanbul. If they won that match, you could just go and just like what we finished with the Champions League today or like yesterday we would be like what we topped the group of that we're
Hmm.
done.
Yeah.
Now you can rest players for the Premier League, but obviously it's just one. We need only 1 point, and we need to get that win against PSG or Istanbul. I think PSG got lucky yesterday. If you see, they scored from a penalty, bro, and
It
the
was a
penalty was a
penalty as
dive.
well. Yeah. Yeah. Neymar wasn't it as well?
No, the Di Maria dived, and Neymar took the
Di
penalty,
Maria
and they
dive.
scored.
Neymar with the penalty. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I mean, see, thing is, even PSG and Leipzig, they're not even. I mean, they don't look as. I mean, PSG will
Strong.
probably come full strength, and again, you never know what's going to happen. But Leipzig away, I'm fearing what might happen at Istanbul. But then again, it's hard to say because we did beat PSG away. So,
Yeah,
I mean, I think for sure we will. I mean, touch wood, qualify. I just want that top spot because I mean, I don't want to end up finishing second and then having to possibly play a strong team and get knocked out in the round of 16. Like, it's
I
very
think
hard to see what our ambitions are for the Champions League, how far we can really go. Because I mean, it's hard to say we'll win it, obviously, but the question is like, what's an acceptable end? Like, where do you prefer to finish? You think like, oh, quarterfinals is a good result. It's hard to say.
I think surviving the group of death will be a big accomplishment from Ole because
No, yeah.
these two teams were the finalists and semi-finalists last year, Leipzig and
Hmm.
PSG, and obviously people rated them more than United going ahead of the Champions League. And obviously United were winning 3 out of 4. It's a good sign, but again, I think against
Yeah,
PSG it will play into our hands because PSG need to win. It's their game to
yeah,
win. If they don't win, they're out because our goal difference is 8, bro. Our goal difference is
yeah. I
7 or
know.
8, and we are. Uh, if it's a draw, we're through. That's it. We just need 1 point from the
Hmm.
next 2 matches, and we're done. The problem is the next match we'll face after that, maybe Juventus or Barcelona because in the last group.
Yeah.
And I would actually prefer Barcelona because Barcelona are shit compared to Juventus.
No, they are. They are. Did you see that lineup yesterday as well? I mean, I don't know how they won 4-0 still. Like, it was such a. Yeah, go on, sorry.
I'm just saying that without Messi, obviously you expected them to lose, but they still won. But even
Even
with
with.
Messi, for
Yeah.
example, but even with
Hmm.
Messi, they still look weak. The PK is gone, so defending wise, they're not going to be that strong anymore. I mean, the attack of United, if he faces Barcelona, who knows what might happen? You don't know.
Yeah, I think right now facing Barcelona is a bit. I mean, it's very less daunting than it has been in the past. I mean, like
Correct.
yeah, they don't the amount of world class players in that team. Like obviously there's Messi and you have Griezmann, but Griezmann's not exactly performing at his level. Coutinho
Correct.
is not performing at his level. He was far better at Bayern Munich. And aside from that, obviously you've got De Jong, you've got a young defense pretty much. Guys like Serginho Dest and who is it? I mean, Longley's still there, but I mean, I'm just thinking about the lineup yesterday as well with guys like Trincao and you got Pedri on the bench, etc. And I mean, Ansu Fati was there, but I mean, regardless, it's nowhere near the Barcelona team we've all been used to, like dominating games, etc., and dominating the league and whatnot. So it's yeah, like you said, anything can happen. It's anyone's game if we do get Barcelona or whoever does.
I don't want Juventus because I think Ronaldo will be full form and he would want to win it because I think this might be his last year at Juventus. I really think because if Messi is coming to Man City, United will go like we spoke like United will go for Ronaldo because
Yeah,
they would want the big guns at Premier League. But I want to talk about Bruno Fernandes. I want to ask you this question: is he the
yeah,
best midfielder in the world right now?
in the world.
Yeah, that's what like in terms of like the Premier League. because he's dominating the games for United. Like again yesterday, that first goal released
Yeah.
everything, man. Like we were like so
Hmm.
happy with him scoring, and we knew that we would win because after 1-0 they will attack and we will counter attack, and we knew what's going to happen. But
Yeah.
what he does, he's giving so much of. Obviously, we've spoken about how he helps, but you think he's better than Kevin De Bruyne right now because Kevin De Bruyne also has not had a good season till now. He's not playing well.
Yeah, I think on in form wise right now, I don't think there's many doing what Bruno Fernandes is doing across the leagues. I mean, I could be
Yeah.
very wrong. I'm just thinking over the leagues, but right now it definitely I could definitely vouch for Fernandes being like the best midfielder on for in form right now. Like obviously, I still think De Bruyne, like in terms of what he's done. Obviously, we've seen. I mean, he's won the league for them, and last season was insane. Obviously,
No,
he's
but
not
I'm just
doing
talking
that right
about
now.
I'm just talking about this season. That's it. The last season obviously he was better than everyone, but this season right now.
Yeah, yeah. No, this season I wouldn't put De Bruyne in that category right now. Like obviously, if he's not contributing enough, then you can't really for this season alone put him in that category. But I think what are Bruno Fernandes' stats right now this season, especially in the league, like goals and assists wise? I'm sure he must be like.
Overall,
Uh, hmm?
overall he scored 9 goals and 2 assists. And I have to tell you this, like including Euro, Champion League and the Premier League, and the amount of goals he has scored is more than Arsenal have scored the entire season in the Premier League.
Oh, I love those
Al-
stats.
No,
I
because
always do.
because Arsenal are struggling, man, with Aubameyang and Lacazette. Not again, Leeds. They were like they could have lost, but they still drew. And I don't think they're a good side because if they don't have Partey, for example, and
Yeah.
obviously people were because his first actual good game was against United, like first proper game he played and he was brilliant. That's what
Hmm.
gave Arsenal to go and attack, and we gave a stupid penalty away because of Paul Pogba. And you could see there's a similarity between Arsenal and United, but United's attack is much better than Arsenal's.
Easily. Like I think I mentioned it earlier as well, but like when you watch Arsenal and when you watch United, like Arsenal on their day can be very lethal. So can we, but like on our day, we like for example, we'll get like a 4-0 or 4-1, or we'll get like a 5-0 against Leipzig. Arsenal, they don't get that many goals. I mean, if Aubameyang's not there, it's hard to say, like and that too he's struggling. So I think there is a difference when you watch Arsenal and United for sure, even when they both struggle. Because I mean, sometimes I mean we don't turn up, but sometimes it's pretty sad seeing Arsenal sometimes, especially when they don't turn up. Like obviously it's a biased view. Arsenal fans could probably say different, but I mean that's just what I've seen when I watched the two of them. But we're both in very very similar situations in terms of transition. Like we're not gonna see that top uh, top two of the table anytime soon. Maybe, I mean, you never know, obviously, what could happen in the next 2 seasons. But yeah, I mean, I definitely say Arsenal, like, just as much transition as us, if not more.
I think they're missing Ozil a lot. I think compared to United, we have Fernandes and we have players. We have options. They don't have options, to in terms of
Ozil,
creating a
mm-hmm.
like
Ozil
they have
could have
only
been their
Ozil.
Fernandez, and he has
Yeah,
he has been in the past,
exactly.
So
Exactly. And obviously, he's not playing for political reasons, not for footballing reasons. Footballing reason
yeah.
doesn't make any sense. Political reason does make sense. So we won't get into
Mm-hmm.
that. I want to talk you the last question, like the last topic we talk about is now Southampton, big game. Um, what do you think the tactics should be against Southampton? What do you think he should do, or what would you do if you were the manager?
If I was a manager against Southampton, well, I wouldn't. One thing for sure, the obvious thing is I wouldn't go as attacking as I would that I did against Istanbul Başakşehir. But Southampton, like this is a way. Southampton are a good team. They're in the top half of the table. You have to take into account like they've got a very lethal striker in Danny Ings. They've got, I mean, I'd
Ings is
say
injured, yeah.
just Ings is injured.
Yeah, he's injured. He's not playing.
Oh, okay, there you go. Okay, I mean, Shea Adam, regardless, it doesn't change the threat. I mean, it does a little bit, but regardless, I think just keep the same system. Let's say that we played against Everton, for example. You know,
Hmm.
just keep the same system. Try not to change. I'd say like just don't change or try and do something different. Like stick to what works best. I always say this as well. Like I mean, thankfully Ole isn't the very experimental type, so that's a good thing. But I mean, he will shuffle a few players here and there, but doesn't really go extreme with this experimental, like play someone completely out of position. So regardless,
Hmm.
I think the main thing is just stick to what we know best. Use the same formations we've used in the past. Obviously, there's no Pogba right now, but that's fine. Right? I don't think we necessarily need him.
We don't miss him
Play,
that
I'd
much, do
say
we?
just we don't know, not really, not really.
Because
I'd say
Bruno's
just
doing
play
the
the
job.
yeah. I'd literally say stay unchanged from the match against West Brom. I'd actually say I wouldn't even change the lineup. Genuinely,
Hmm.
yeah. That I think that's what we should do. Because we don't. I mean, usually the bigger teams like the Man City, well, not Man City, but mainly Liverpool. They have a consistent lineup. Like in that's what teams in the top side of the table do. So
Yeah.
the more we can extend games with the same 11, the better it'll be. For those
Yeah,
players playing as well. And obviously,
the base has to be the same. Like you can keep changing one, two players, but the base has to be the same. The defend, the midfield, the forward. I think Cavani might play. I think Martial will go left wing and Cavani will go strike and right wing. Rashford
Rashford.
because Telles is going to play and Telles if he crosses the ball against
Hmm.
Southampton, it might be a new tactical thing. Like okay, that's a second plan. First plan is obviously one touch.
Yeah.
The way they play and Van de Beek won't play. For example, he won't play. He will be sidelined. But if Cavani
Hmm.
doesn't start, I think Van de Beek might play on the right wing where Mata plays, and Van de Beek should play there. If Mata's playing, for example, Van de Beek should be there because Van de Beek is more quick, more fast, and he's more like he's young. So I'm not saying that Mata is
Yeah.
old and he can't do shit, but he
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
compared to Van de Beek, obviously age takes over, and you need to give young kids an opportunity. And he is a look at the way he changed the game yesterday. He was
Mm.
brilliant from the get go. So I think that's going to happen. So obviously Southampton. What do you think will be the result? Like, what do you think?
I'm gonna be a little. I don't think we will lose. This is being very optimistic. Obviously, I can say this and we lose, but I don't think we lose. But I feel like either two possibilities. I always like to look at two possibilities in games. I'll say a 1-1 maybe, or maybe a 2-0 for us. Both goals coming in the second half.
Okay.
Southampton dominate the first half, 0-0. You can say like, oh, how Southampton not scored, etc., etc., and then we get a goal from somewhere. Southampton try attacking, we defend, and then towards the end of the game, we score. I can see that
Yeah.
happening. I mean, possibly. Otherwise, but my main thing is I feel we might not beat them. I feel like 1-1 because Southampton are set up very well. The defense is very well. They've got a good goalkeeper, a good defense, everything. Even without Danny Ings. So I mean, that's what I think will happen. What I want to happen, and what can happen is we take the win. But I said it's very hard to see us lose right now. That's the thing. But
No,
then
if you
again,
if
it's the
you,
Premier League and it's United, and anything can happen.
I think Premier League is like the most unpredictable thing right now for United. We can predict them in the Champions League, okay, because we never thought in the Champions League they would be so good compared to the Premier League. Premier League they have been okay,
Yeah.
up and down, and now we got three wins in a row. I think for the first time this season, Everton, West Brom,
Hmm.
and Istanbul. I think the West Brom game was very important to win. You could see that they
That
were
was
not
our
playing well.
that
Just
was our
win.
first home win of the season in the Premier League as well. So that was huge.
I,
I
I
can't
think
believe it's
that
taken this long.
that does cause a mental block when you don't win your games at home ground.
Yeah.
And now with the government saying that fans might be allowed, so we'll come to know tomorrow if United is in tier three, because if it's in tier three, there won't be any fans at the stadium. But tier one, tier
Yeah.
two, 4,000, 2,000. But I don't think that's fair because United's the stadium capacity is 90,000 people.
Mhm.
Only 4,000
Mhm.
people will be there. I don't get that sense, like you have a stadium of obviously they don't want people to travel to this clubs. Like they don't want people from all
Yeah.
around the world. Like if
Yeah.
if realistically if they allow 30% capacity, 23,000 people will be at United because they have a capacity of like 90. So people
Mhm.
there will be the
Mhm.
social distance easily, no problem
Yeah.
with that. But obviously they're concerned with the traveling from because everyone wants to get into the stadiums because everyone is sick and tired of this COVID nonsense. I think it's getting irritating. We both live in
Yeah.
Dubai, so we have that luxury of enjoying compared to everyone else around the world. Touch wood, thanks to the UAE government.
Yeah. Of
But
course.
yeah, because they have taken good restrictions in terms of like they have done pretty well, compared to everyone else.
Yeah, Dubai has been
So
very good with this whole COVID thing as well. To be honest with you, like I mean, we should. I mean, should be grateful actually, because like obviously we can still go, and I mean the restrictions are, what they should be, but it's nothing strict, and they're controlling it. Obviously cases will go up all over the world, especially in Dubai, but right
Yeah.
now so far, I mean they do a really good job in controlling it, honestly.
They control it in the start. Right now, they need people to understand that you need to wear a mask. And think wearing a mask was a very important thing from the beginning, and it was rule. Now we're used to it. Now whenever we go out, like I want to wear a mask, just like
Yeah.
okay, well, that's the basic stuff to do. So I think we'll win 3-1. I think we will win 3-1, same like Everton, because I
Hmm.
think Southampton will come to attack, and if we get the first goal, we're going to win the match because that counter-attacking wise, we are the best counter-attacking team I think in the world, maybe because we're clinical. Like obviously Marshall didn't convert his chances against West Brom compared to what he does before. Marshall had a
Mm.
brilliant chance. Rashford had a brilliant chance. They were like 1-on-1 and they could have just scored. But if they take the chance, we
Yeah.
would have won the match 3-0. So that we create chances that one touch football. We even if we didn't don't play well, that's the thing with
Yeah.
Fernandez. Even if he doesn't play well, he creates that chance for you. Even if he's not
Exactly.
playing well.
That's the thing. I feel like if Fernandez, we won't win the game if Fernandez doesn't turn up. And by turn up, I mean doesn't mean he has to get a goal and assist. But if he's not creating, if he's not doing anything, and it's very hard for him to not, because he's in form, and he's not that. I mean, he's not that type of player to switch off that easily. So I mean, if by any chance he has an off game, at any point in the season, if not like let's say if, hypothetically this weekend, like we can't win the game if Fernandez is not at the center of things, or not making things happen. I genuinely feel
Yeah, I think.
he's that crucial for us.
Yeah, but it's nice to see a player who wants to play for United. You could see that it's breathing
Yeah.
down his neck that he wants to win, and that's what's required. I think Ole is like he will be given more time because United now the board can see that they got the right player in because of Ole.
Yeah.
Like they got Bruno Fernandes because of him, they got Bissaka
Mhm.
because of him, because
Mhm.
Bissaka, because we say that Harry Maguire is overrated, not worth 80 million. I know that he's not worth 80 million,
No, he's not.
but Bissaka is a 50 million defender. He knows how to defend. He's not a right back like
He's not a
Arnold.
great attacker, but he can defend. He's probably one of the best one-on-one defenders in the world.
Yeah,
If
he
not in the
is.
league.
No one can deny him
100%.
that.
Yeah.
And James
Oh,
is a
100%.
rising, prospect. Van der Beek is a proven player. So you could see there's a crux of
We've got
United's.
the we've got the players, exactly. We've got the names in there. We've got players in positions, who can take us that further step. It's just about how we execute the tactics, and that's it. I think.
And now with the youth coming up, like now Dean Henderson is a goalkeeper, Tuanzebe is a centre back, Brandon Williams is a right back, Rashford is a winger. Obviously, he didn't come through Ole, but he's still playing. Greenwood is an attacker, McTominay is a midfielder.
Yeah.
You could
Yeah.
see there is a lot of United's youth in that, and they're still continuing the tradition. When people
Mhm.
compare to City or Chelsea or even Liverpool, Liverpool don't have many academy players playing for the first team as compared to United, and it's a fact.
That's true. I mean, Liverpool do have. I mean, their academy players are not as good. They've got Curtis Jones and Reece Williams, I believe. I mean, Curtis Jones is all right, but they don't have amazing academy players right now. That's so that I think definitely like right now United's academy. Obviously, guys like Rashford coming out, Greenwood, and everyone else you mentioned. Like, um, I mean, obviously Lingard back in the day, but not right now. But right now, I mean, we've always been known for it. We've always been known for bringing up incredible youth talent. So it's just good to see that still continuing as well.
Yeah, that's
You know
again.
what? There's one player we haven't mentioned that is an unsung hero at this point. I feel like Fred is not getting as much credit as he deserves. I feel
Fred.
Fred has been putting in some big performances. Honestly, like he is putting in the work. He's breaking up play so often. Like yesterday's game, West Brom. Like he's actually been insane. He's been very, very, very good for us. So I
He's
mean,
developed.
I'm very
I think
yeah.
he's the most developed player under Ole. The most.
100%. 100%. He was like a lost chicken, like before this, like the first two seasons. But now he knows his job, he knows his role, and he does it well. And
And
it's
he's
so
happy
and
also. You
it's
could you
really
could
good to
see
see.
that
Yeah,
he wants to play. I think
yeah,
that's what
100%.
give him credit. Ole. Obviously, Fred has been amazing, and whenever he plays, he wins the ball. And he's lean, he's quick. And obviously he loses the ball also at the same at some time. But that happened in football. But you could see that he's
Yeah,
trying to get the ball forward.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
He
so
works hard.
match
Yeah.
against so the match against Saturday, so Sunday, 6 p.m.
Hmm.
I want to. This is the last question. Your prediction for Spurs versus Tottenham. Who's going to win? Sorry, it's not Spurs or Tottenham. Spurs versus Chelsea.
Spurs. That's at Chelsea, right? Or is that at Spurs?
I think it's the Spurs. Let me just check.
Yeah, that'll change my decision basically, depending on which where it is.
It's at Chelsea.
It's at Chelsea.
Yeah.
I don't think Spurs are gonna win. Not gonna lie, I don't think Spurs are gonna win because that's a very it's a very Spurs thing to do. Beat City one week and then go Chelsea next week and lose. So,
Yeah.
and I mean, thing is, Chelsea are looking very good right now. So are Spurs. Like this is actually a very good game. I'm very much looking forward to this. But I feel Chelsea will edge it. I just feel like they will.
I think
I could
Spurs
be
will win.
wrong. You think Spurs will win?
Yeah, I think Mourinho will go now. Really is now really letting loose. He has more control over this team than he had at United. I'll be very very frank. Like
Oh no, he
there is
100% does.
there
He's
is
got much
more
better
of a
players as well.
no, not only that. Obviously, the players wise, obviously this is a proper set of players like compared to United
Hmm.
because of Pochettino. But the players over here understand what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
Even the fans want they even the fans understand what he's trying to do with this particular team. With United, when he was winning trophies, people were criticizing him, saying that he's playing not the United way. And when the thing with goodness, yeah, once it goes, then you appreciate how good that person was. And
Yeah.
now if Mourinho wins, I would want Mourinho to win the Premier League. If it comes down to Liverpool,
I
City,
hope
or
so.
Spurs,
I hope so.
Spurs win because I want Arsenal
I have.
fans to lose their shit. AFTV to lose their shit because
Oh,
they can't
that's
accept.
yeah,
I mean, this
yeah,
guy
yeah,
Roddy Jennings, who's one of my favorite YouTubers, he's a Chelsea fan. They can't accept that Mourinho is still good. They don't want to
yeah.
accept that. That they're in
Hmm.
denial. Okay, Mourinho is done, man. He's this and that. They give reasons.
Yeah,
They give valid reasons. But
yeah.
sometimes I go like never underestimate anyone, especially him, because he's won with clubs. They were never supposed to win anything when he went there.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, have you? I'm sure you've seen the documentary as well, right? All or
Yeah,
Nothing Tottenham. Exactly.
definitely.
I mean, that brought a whole. I mean, I don't know how a rival fan can watch that and still be like, oh, you still shit. You know what I mean? Like it's impossible. I mean, yeah, you have to really, really dislike him, which a lot of people do, to watch that and still, not appreciate his style. Like I watched the City documentary as well. I don't particularly like Guardiola or City, but I watched that and I had a lot more respect for them. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, if it comes down to it, if any rival wins it, I've always like since the Leicester season as well, because when they came so close, I was like, you know what, I literally don't mind seeing Tottenham win it. I have nothing against them, and like you said, it'll be funny to see Chelsea fans, especially the Arsenal fans, lose their shit over it. So I'm for it. I'm all for it.
Because when obviously this guy got sacked, Pochettino and Mourinho was brought in, there were a lot of talks about him going to Arsenal, and Arsenal fans saying
Yeah,
no, he's not an Arsenal man. He is not. He's not this, he's not that.
should have taken
But
him.
the fact of the matter is that if he had gone to Arsenal, he would have demanded money, demanded players, and he would have
Hmm.
made them win something. Like he would have made them title contenders. Like obviously Spurs are not title contenders yet, but if they win
Yeah.
against Chelsea, for me, they are in for that talk.
If they win against Chelsea, I will definitely also myself consider because obviously I can look at the table now, 9 games played, top of the table. It's only a quarter of the season away, but these games against Chelsea, because even Chelsea right now, I think are they second or third?
The second,
They're second. There you go. So and everyone expected them to do this well as well. I mean they've got all these signings in, and it took a while, but they're now performing, keeping clean sheets. Like the main thing of Kepa was taken care of. Mendy's doing extremely well. So if Tottenham can beat this Chelsea team right now in the form they're in, 100%
at
they have a
Chelsea,
shout. Yeah,
at Chelsea, I'm
at
talking
Chelsea,
about.
at Chelsea exactly. That's the main thing. Like there's no one they can't beat. Then they've already
So,
beaten
in-
City. They can
so
do
if
it here.
Tottenham
If
win,
they, hmm,
if Tottenham win their match, they'll be 23 points, and they have defeated Man United, Man City, and Chelsea.
there you go. I mean, the only thing left is
You,
if they beat Liverpool also. I mean, it's hard to say.
And
So it can be
imagine
Liverpool, but
and just imagine what their next fixture is after Chelsea.
it's Liverpool, isn't it?
No, it's Arsenal.
It's all. Oh man. Oh yeah, no, I saw this as well. I saw. Yeah, I saw that Tottenham have a difficult run coming up. Oh yeah. Oh, the
If they beat
Arsenal
these
game.
two
That's
teams,
gonna be
oh
big.
man, if they beat these two teams, man, they have to be considered serious contenders because they defeated every
Exactly.
top level out of six clubs. They defeated five. If they win the Arsenal Chelsea game, and they can. I'm not saying they can't. They
They can.
can. They have a good squad, and they have a, for me one of the best managers of all time. And he has won
I
three
think
Premier League trophies. He knows what he's doing.
I that's the thing. I hope that Mourinho erases one thing about this club. I just hope that he completely takes away the reputation of being bottle jobs, because
Yeah,
it's a very Tottenham thing to beat City, beat Chelsea, and then potentially beat, like, they'll beat a few good big teams in a row, and then let's say they go to Newcastle the
Fulham.
week
Yeah,
after,
Fulham, Newcastle. Yeah,
Fulham, Newcastle, and they'll drop points because it's not the same intensity. They don't play the same way. Maybe they take it a bit. I don't know. It's a very Tottenham thing to do. So I'm just hoping Mourinho erases that. And I mean, if there's anybody who's gonna do it, it's him.
yeah. For Tottenham, obviously, there's no one better than Mourinho
There's
to
no
get that
one
done.
else. Yeah, this is
And
their
you know,
best chance.
if he wins the Premier League, with Mourinho with this team, and if he wins trophies with Tottenham, you can't deny the fact that he's better than Guardiola. No one can deny the
I
fact.
could, if he can win the Premier League with Tottenham, I'll consider him the greatest modern day football manager in the world after
Yeah, he
Ferguson.
is. Yeah, for sure. Because winning with Porto, winning with Chelsea, with Inter
Hmm.
Milan, with Madrid, with Chelsea
Hmm.
again, then coming to United and winning the Europa League trophy, which Arsenal haven't
And
won. So
then
I don't know they're bantering us about for anything. Six clubs he's won everywhere, and he's gone to Tottenham now.
exactly.
There is a system, there is a belief. Now you could. I'm not a Tottenham fan. I don't hate Tottenham, but if you
Hmm.
see it from the outside perspective, okay, if he gets these two wins, what he's doing for, like, obviously Europa League can be a bit of a problem for them because Thursday and Sunday matches are not that easy to play.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
even when Ole was when he played Istanbul last time, he was really pissed off at the fact that we got to play on a Saturday and we played on a Wednesday. So the Tottenham are going through that, but when you have adrenaline and there's passion to win, if
Hmm.
by Feb you see Spurs on the top, they'll be motivated to
Yeah.
win the fucking league, man. I'm not even joking.
Man, 100%, 100%. Like I said, like, I mean, at this point, like, with that kind of passion as well, like, with the way they're going right now, you know Mourinho's bringing that, that into the locker room. He's making sure, like, they know what, like, that they need to do. So if they don't win it now, or if Mourinho extends another year or something, and strengthens the team, but if they don't win it now, I cannot see when Tottenham are going to win the Premier League or when they're going to win anything, because they've been trophyless for what, 30 plus years now?
No,
Like,
11
not even
years.
Premier League, just 11 years.
11
Oh yeah, they
years,
won
yeah.
the,
Carling
yeah,
Cup,
that's
like
Premier
when
League.
he
Yeah, Carling Cup, yeah.
Premier
But
League
still,
they've won
like,
in 61, 62. Not after that they have never won it.
mm,
So they need to break that duck, and if he breaks that duck, I think there's no denial that he is the best manager ever. I want to talk to you about Guardiola. Yeah, this is the last question. Like, I'm keep seeing last
yeah,
question,
yeah,
but
yeah.
this is something I want to
No,
talk
no, it's
about.
fine. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Guardiola, what do you think about him? Because
Mm.
I have a lot of things to say, but what do you think about his struggles going on right now? Their team is winning 1-0 in the
Oh, they're
Champions League.
winning
They
1-0, are
won,
they?
yeah, halftime now, right?
Okay.
Just now, halftime. But if you compare him to Mourinho, just talk to me about Guardiola. What do you think about Guardiola as a whole? Do you think that he's the greatest manager ever in the world, or just like people are just giving him a lot of credit for no reason?
Mm. See, no, he's definitely not the greatest manager in the world right now. Like, I definitely have my views on Guardiola. Now, Guardiola built his reputation, and this is what a lot of people say. I'm not going to take away the tactician that he is. I'm not going to take away, again, watching that documentary and everything. He is an amazing manager. He's definitely up there in the top. Like, when you consider the greatest managers, he's in the bracket. He's not the man, but he's in the bracket. And the reason is, obviously, his success came from, mainly Barcelona. Having He inherited possibly one of the greatest Barcelona sides of all time, you know,
Yeah,
because that Barcelona team of, like, 2009 to 2013, 14, or whenever he left. I think he was 13.
Yeah,
Like
13.
that
Yeah,
is one of the greatest football sides ever established. Especially in modern day football at least. So he had that, and like it's easy to say like, oh, any manager could win it. Like he still brought, obviously he brought that tiki taka style, and he had the right players to do it. So that definitely helped. Bayern Munich, obviously, Bayern Munich are head and shoulders above the rest all the time in the Bundesliga. So when he came to City, everyone is like, this is a real test. And so far, he has definitely had an impact on English football. Like I mean, winning the Premier League back to back is not an easy feat. So, but the main thing that separates Mourinho and him is the fact that you know he didn't win the champ. This City team is as well that he has is incredible. I mean, especially over the one that at least when they won the season, the Premier League, sorry, the first and second time, at least
yeah.
especially the first with the 100 points, like that was a Champions League winning worthy team. So the fact that he didn't do it, obviously it comes down to the whole team, but obviously, I mean, in terms of responsibility, but everything will be put on him because there's so much
But
pressure
but he didn't make mistakes in
on
the
his name.
Champions League against I think Lyon in the Champions League. He
Yeah,
screwed up by playing three centre backs
he
in
did.
mistake. What are you doing,
He
man?
did.
As a resting player on the bench,
Exactly.
and then everything goes ape shit, and then they just come and you know what? Oh my God, we're done. And with
Hmm.
City, the one thing I will say about City is that okay, they had a centurion season, and they had because they had players like Company, Aguero, Yaya Toure still at the club. Okay,
Sane,
once
Sterling,
these
yeah.
guys, yeah, but since these guys left, these guys haven't been replaced properly. They haven't been
Hmm.
replaced properly by Guardiola in terms of his recruitment. He is buying Mahrez, and he bought Sane. He let Sane go because of Mahrez. He has Sterling, yeah. Like Sane
Yeah.
would do bits in this team. Like he would create because only one player in this team is dangerous, and that's Kevin De Bruyne. Only one.
Mhm.
You're scared of. You say Aguero has gotten old. Navas is not that great. Sterling is very overrated for me. Like I would not select him over Rashford. I don't care. Rashford is more clinical. Rashford can create chances also. Sterling can't do that. Sterling will just wait
Mm-hmm.
for De Bruyne and he was like, okay, I'll shoot. Or counter attack, counter attack. Rashford can actually create things out of nothing. Again, the
Yeah.
Tottenham game when he scored two goals, suddenly he just cuts in and he just scores. You can't expect that
Yeah.
from Sterling. You can't do it. Even
Yeah.
now, because when obviously when City are going through such a bad time, you look to your players to like how Fernandes is or Rashford is or how even Greenwood is, for example, against Everton, losing 1-0 and he just comes and he
Yeah.
scores. There is
Yeah.
that quality in the player that okay, let the man okay, no, one player will change it for me. Sterling is not that guy. Kevin De Bruyne, every single time you depend on him. He missed the penalty against
Yeah.
Liverpool. That's
Mm-hmm.
okay. That happens. It's football. But he's the only guy. Bernardo Silva is not playing that great.
Mm-hmm.
Even Gundogan is not playing that great.
Mm.
Rodri is not playing that great. Centre back
Yeah.
partnership. These guys have spent 60 million on John Stones. He's not even there, and it's a fact. It's a fact. They're just spending money. Whenever he loses, he spends money. That's what he does. That's what he does. He signed a new
Exactly.
contract, and now obviously he'll be like, "Oh, Messi is coming. That's why I'm signing a contract." But signing only 2 years, I think Man City also like what. I don't think he's that great right now. He's not because Klopp has come in and just like dominated him in terms of like showing him like what money can't win you matches. And as much as we hate Liverpool, like they still won, man. They still
We can't
won.
deny, yeah. We can't deny what Liverpool have done. I mean, Champions League as well. It's not even just Premier League. He's done what Guardiola couldn't do. I mean, they've like, and that's win the Champions League. I really did not think Liverpool were going to win the Champions League anytime soon. Like,
Yeah.
but they did it. And I mean, I honestly consider Klopp, ahead of Guardiola, genuinely, because even when he was at Dortmund, that Dortmund team,
Hmm.
like, and we still took them to the Champions League final as well, and he won the league with them back to back as well in the era of Bayern Munich's dominance. So Klopp is, I mean, yeah, undeniably he's incredible. Obviously, Liverpool went through a transition in the first 2 years that he was there, but the recruitment, man, like it's. I mean, as we can clearly see, it's paid off. So, I mean, I definitely rate Klopp highly, as much as I hate to admit it. Definitely.
So I'm just that's the end of this podcast. We're looking forward to Chelsea at Tottenham. I'm very much looking forward to that match. and obviously
of course.
United's match. But
United, yeah.
Chelsea Tottenham will be a very interesting match to see, and obviously Guardiola. You know what's going to happen with Mourinho. It's a very interesting season. Honestly, like we never expected the season to be that good, but it is.
Yeah, I can't believe it's taken this whole COVID situation with no fans for it to be one of the most exciting seasons already.
And it'll be almost a year when no fans are there, like 11 months. I think 10 months. I think March, April,
Yeah,
May,
and
June, July, August, September, October, November, December.
I
10 months,
mean,
yeah.
are you used to seeing football now the way it is now? Like, have you got used to it completely? Like,
Yeah,
but you
because the
still, yeah,
situation demands it. You know, you can't really force it now because even when IPL happened in Dubai, you know, obviously I was used to go and
yeah,
see, and obviously Dubai was one of the
yeah,
most is one of the most safest places in the world right now. They didn't take that
hmm,
chance, you know, because they knew that if crowd gets together, it's going to happen again. So it's better not to take that
yeah,
chance.
yeah,
And even with the now fans are opening up because obviously so the fans are they want to come to the stadiums and stuff. They need to make a project. Like I was listening to Talk Sports before, and there
yeah.
was a guy called Simon Jordan, I think Simon something,
Okay.
and he was saying that traveling should not be allowed, but people who live
Hmm.
next to the stadium, they should be allowed to see the matches until we have a vaccine or until we have something that allows large gatherings happening. Because if people
Yeah,
come from
because
far away place, yeah, you're saying.
when you think about it as well, like obviously when you have people in the stadium and stuff, like you were saying, like I don't know why like they're having like 5,000, 4,000 fans in a 75K seater, right? But I think the
Yeah,
thing is when you consider is when you enter the stadium and stuff like that, like it's also obviously in the stadium they'll have the precautions. People will be sitting far apart from each other,
yeah,
but
yeah.
the entering, the coming out and going out as well, people will be in like closed groups. So that I think that's one of the key reasons as well that the number is even less than you expect it to be. You know what I mean? Because they
No,
have to
but
control the
but
yeah.
with clubs, they're earning so much of money. They have spoken to authorities, and everything is in place. Like I
Oh
see
yeah, for sure.
United's what do you say statement that we are ready to host fans. Obviously they don't want the
Mm.
coronavirus outbreak to happen within the stadium. The players will get affected, and the footballing
No,
thing
they'll
will
for
stop
sure be
again.
prepared. They'll regard
Yeah. So
they'll for sure be prepared. They just need to make sure they have the right amount of fans in to then,
yeah,
execute all those precautions. Because if you have like a few couple thousand more than you probably should, it could potentially get out of hand. You know what I mean? So it is a
yeah,
very
correct.
tricky one. It's going to be very interesting to see how they handle it and how many ultimately get end up. I mean, and let's see if any results come out of it in terms of, oh, there was this big batch of an outbreak because of that. Hopefully not, but let's see. It's going to be
I
very
don't I
interesting.
don't think I don't think now there'll be a big outbreak because now people have understood what coronavirus is. Because in March
Yeah.
we have no idea, and now we know everything about it. There
Hmm.
is basic information. Wear a mask, stay away from people, and just don't do anything weird or just like be a
Yeah.
normal person. Just like don't go
Yeah.
outside and like party and stuff like that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And I honestly I still um I'm a little bit scared, but not that much compared to what it was going in March and April.
Oh yeah, for sure. I
So,
mean,
hmm,
yeah. I mean, I'm still playing football weekly with like different people all the time. So like, it's the risk is always there, but I've just sort of taken away like, I mean, the fear basically. Because at this
yeah,
point we're living with it, so you might as well just get on with your life and, like you said, just don't do anything stupid. Like
but we have
wherever
to,
you're going.
but we have to live with
Mm.
it now. There's no other choice.
Yeah, there's
There
no
is
other
no
choice.
choice.
We can't stop what we're doing
And
either
yeah,
to a
because
certain extent.
at some point, it really gets to your head. So you just need to like let it go.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
pretty much.
yeah, so let's end the stream. Thank you so much again, bro, for talking to me again regarding football. It's great to have fans, and I hope more and more fans come and we'll have a discussion as to how the season when the season goes on.
Yeah, man.
So people, yeah, it's crazy. Thank you again. Thank you people who are watching this. Please like to subscribe to the channel. Thank you, Prince. Take care. God bless and stay safe, brother.
Thank you, man. Pleasure's all mine. Thank you for having me again, man. Take care.
Thanks, man. Take care.